children came forward and explained. We asked her about this and she remembers it quite clearly. She says DuPont had a telephone communications section in the factory where she worked. But that does not explain what she's holding up to her face. Time traveler at a football game. A footage was recorded during a live football match in Uruguay. During a live football match, a shadowy figure can be seen running through an aisle at super speed. The figure seems to be running through people at an incredible speed. Could this be a time traveler from the future or just a glitch in the video? The Mohawk haircut. The Mohawk haircut didn't appear until the 1939 movie Drums Along the Mohawk starring Henry Fonda. This guy seems to look a little out of place among the people around him. He has a Mohawk haircut in 1905 and he's wearing a white short-sleeved shirt which is contrasted by the long sleeves in the picture. Was he too rebellious for his time, a man from the 70s or a follower of NASA's famous Bobak Fedosi? Time-traveling hipster. This hipster has been one of the most talked about instances of possible evidence of time travel. His get-up severely contrasts those of the people around him in the picture. The photo is dated circa 1940 at the reopening of South Fork Bridge in Canada. This is the first picture that intrigued me and pushed me to find more evidence and write this post. The hipster appears to sport sunglasses, a modern-looking stamped t-shirt, a sweater and a camera. The image is said to be authentic and not in any way digitally altered. He's also noticeably taller than the other men around him and sunglasses weren't around that time. Another woman talking on a mobile phone. This woman featured in the opening scene of Charlie Chaplin's movie The Circus in 1928 seems to be talking on a mobile phone while walking across the frame. In the clip that is circulating the internet, the woman doesn't have any companion in the scene and seems to be having a phone conversation. The portable mobile appeared in the 1980s, quite a long while after this film was shot. Many experts have been consulted as to the plausible behavior of the woman on the scene, but there seems to be no real explanation except for one which says that she might be a time traveler. Swiss watch found in ancient Chinese tomb. Chinese archaeologists claim to have found a small ring in the shape of a watch in 2008 when opened a previously undisturbed giant coffin. This little watch was discovered in an ancient tomb believed to be 400 years old and undisturbed in China. The watch was found in the soil surrounding the tomb with the hands stopped at 10:06 and Swiss engraved on the back. This watch is believed to be not more than 100 years old. This started the time travel news and speculation. How can this watch that is just 100 years old max be embedded in the soil surrounding an undisturbed tomb dating back to the Ming Dynasty? Ancient man-made object. This next evidence of time travel comes from mysterious prehistoric high-tech artifact inside this piece of a rock. It appears to be a man-made object that looks like an intent of an industrial screw, discovered in 2009 in the village of Sarajevo in the Moscow region of Russia. Very little is known about this curious object. A similar object was also found in Russia, is said to be 300 million year old aluminium gear. Some theorists believe that ancient artifacts like this are proof support for the ancient astronauts. Mysterious time traveler. This urban legend is about a man in his early 30s named Rudolph Fentz, who was hit by a taxi and fatally injured at New York City's Times Square in mid-June 1950, dressed in the fashion of the late 1800s. In his pockets there were a copper token for a beer, a bill for the care of a horse and the washing of a carriage, a letter from 1876, $70 and business cards, all without any signs of aging. An NYPD policeman found a person who was disappeared in 1876 in the age of 29. The legend has been reported since the 1970s as an evidence for the existence of time travel. The Cape Scots story. The photo is dated at 1917 and pictures several pioneers wearing typical clothes and hats from that time. However, this purported time traveler has uncovered longer hair and no hat. He is dressed in typical attire, wearing a grungy t-shirt, and looks like a modern-day man. A man to his left seems to be staring at him with disbelief. Maybe he suddenly appeared and startled the man next to him.